Welcome, everyone. Elle Ingalls here, creator of the Pressure Free Method, the on-the-go stress management method. And tonight is night two of a series I'm doing, inviting coaches from around the world to come in and share their expertise to help us sleep better, help us perform better, help us reduce performance anxiety, and really get some of the results that we desire in our life. Sometimes it just takes one flip of the switch, one tip or one strategy. And that is my purpose of sharing with all my colleagues. So tonight I have a wonderful new colleague who's pretty new to the game. And I'm so inspired by her. She reminds me of me a little bit when I was younger, like just go for it and do it messy, just go for life. This is Ginny Song. And Ginny, share a little bit about yourself and how you got into the mental performance game.
My name is Jinny Song. I'm originally from South Korea and I'm mental performance coach. I work with athletes, coaches, performers like you that may want to cope better with daily stresses at work or in life.
I love how you said it's not just for athletes. Like sometimes people think mental performance coaches are just for athletes, but we also
Mm-hmm.
coach a lot of executives. I coach executives. I coach
Mm-hmm.
people in all sorts of professions. I coach students who are having trouble. And so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
these are skills that can transfer into any profession or any time in your life as well.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I'd love for you to share, Jenny, like what are some of your top tips and strategies that you
Mm-hmm.
share with your clients that you think can be helpful to people here?
There's a tips I want to share in this place. The first thing is more like my personal experience, and the second thing was more
Fabulous.
about the actual sports psychology and knowledge. What do you want to hear first?
I want to hear about your personal. Go for it.
Personal experience first.
Yeah.
Throughout my journey, most impactful opportunities in my life were not actually found, but were created. And I want to elaborate on that through my three experiences. And the first thing what happened in 2019. I was a college student in South Korea, and my school provides the opportunity for Siberia expedition program in Yakutsk. It's the coldest city in the world. I applied for it, but I didn't get accepted. But I still sent an email asking for opportunity if I can get joined without scholarship. A few weeks later, the director emailed me if I want to accept that scholarship because one of the participants couldn't join because of the flu. Another experience would happen in 2019. That time I was in New Mexico for my exchange program.
Okay.
That time I really want to have experience working with a college basketball team because I had a dream of working with NBA. It was before I started working in the field of sports psychology, and my expertise was in content creation. But
Okay.
in the team, there was no position regarding content creation. So I sent an email to ask for opportunity if I can get experiences, create the job. I work for 6 months, but having a fantastic opportunity working with the college of basketball team. The last experience was last year. After being part of very grateful journey of Division One men's basketball team's championship, I really wanted to share resilience training program we built to help them to reach that championship. There's a European sports psychology conference that held every 2 years. It's been my goal of giving a presentation in the conference since I first attended there in 2019.
Okay.
After that experience, I thought, oh, that's the space I really want to give the presentation. But then by the time when we won the championship, the application deadline has been passed. But I still emailed and sent my application, got accepted somehow, and could give a presentation in Austria last year. I'm not here to encouraging you to, it's good to miss the deadline. Being on time is always important.
Right, right.
But yeah, but what I want to share is that one simple mindset that really helped me to open a lot of doors when it felt like all doors closed is the belief that there's always way we all have a power to create our own path. Most of all, don't do this by yourself. Throughout this journey, what I've realized recently is I never been by myself throughout all this journey. So finding your community and being with your like-minded people is really important. And having that mindset didn't always open all the doors, but what was really powerful, it changed my actions. Like it changed my behaviors to more like asking more questions and trying more hard and taking leadership of my life. There's a psychological model called thought self-leadership model. That's a psychological technique, realizing your cognitive strategies like self-talk and having your belief and or visualization to change your thought patterns and your actions. Yeah, that's a one mindset that I really wanted to share, believing that there's always way and you have a power to create your path rather than just finding the opportunities.
I
Yeah.
love that so much. I have a phrase I use a lot with my clients. It's just stand in full belief. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, I mean, the deadline's over, but you can still ask. You don't know. And
Right,
there's all
right.
these little times in our lives where it just kind of like we went one way or another way, but that persistence might have
Mm-hmm.
changed that a little bit. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. That's really powerful. And I
Yeah,
do
of
think
course.
people give up way too easy on their dreams. They give
Mm-hmm.
up way too easy on opportunities because they don't think it's possible. And the
Mm-hmm.
brain loves to have possibility happen. It's
Mm-hmm.
open to possibility. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, so what's next?
I want to share more about the resilience program we built to help the Division One basketball team to win the championship. First thing I did with the men's basketball team was finding your value. So value was the first thing. So there are three resilience programs, and the first thing was finding your value. So value is about what's really important to you as a player and as a team and finding the common value. And that's the first thing. The next thing we did was then taking action. And after the finding the common values, we talk about then how can you realize the value on the court during the practice or during the games. We found the common action plan is communication. To realize all that value, all players think communication is important. And next thing I did was tracking the communication, how they communicate on the court during the games in a motivational way or giving instruction way or positive and negative. Sometimes we not really aware how we talk to ourselves or outwardly. Tracking the communication and give that feedback to players and coaches help them a lot. And the last thing I did the breathing and visualization technique every 1 hour before the games. And when I ask feedback to players, it really helped them reduce performance anxiety and improve their focus. So the three things, finding your values, finding the common action plan, and then the last thing is practicing breathing and visualization really helps them reduce anxiety and improve focus.
I'm so interested that you said that you tracked the communication on the court.
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
is truly fascinating.
As a high school kids growing up, loving to watch basketball game, one thing that makes me fascinated was mental aspects of basketball. For example, during the free throw, nobody is blocking you, but the mental pressure makes the easy shot most difficult, right? After realizing the importance of mental aspects of the game, I was thinking, what if we can make this mentality really tangible? Like if you see the scoreboard, there were 3 point shots and 2 point shots that are about stats. What if we can also create the mental stats? Because that really impacts the game, even though you cannot see. That's how I could create the communication tracking system. When they actually see it, the coaches and players, they said like, oh, I wasn't aware of it. This is great. I could help, but it's more like visible way.
Yeah. I mean, that's so tangible. And, they've all played for so long. So they have patterns they're not even aware that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be
Right.
so interesting. And even how they talk to their other members of the team,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's supportive or whether it's critical or what's going
Mm-hmm.
on,
Right,
And this
right.
is for any sport, but not just any sport, but any team, like a corporate
Mm-hmm.
team, a works
Mm-hmm.
team. How do they actually communicate and to track it? I think that's
Mm-hmm.
genius, really. It's really genius
Mm-hmm.
to get that granular about it.
Again, building relationship is really important. And luckily, I have a associate head coach. He was a big supporter in mental health. Later on, he suggested me an idea. What about adding body language to your stats? Because body language is also part of communication and self-talk, right?
Wow. And
Mhm.
that's interesting about having that support system because I was going to ask you, like, how did the players accept you?
For the first year, I worked as a content creator. When I first got here in the US to study my master's program in sports psychology, I didn't have much experience in sports psychology, but still I know I want to help this team with mental performance, even though it's not right now. So I just went there, say, "Hi, I'm Jeannie. How can I help you?" And then what I can help them best was the content creation. That's how I start to build that relationship first. Sometimes you don't need to do many things to build a relationship. So showing up on the court and saying hello and giving high five, they know when I am there. Plus, I have a fantastic sports psychologist, my mentor. He was the first sports psychologist working with LA Clippers. He was also the first African American senior sports psychologist in US Olympic Committee. He was already working with the team at the time, and he allowed me to shadow his work with the team. So that's how I also build a relationship with the players too.
Of course, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. Anything else that you want to share in our last, we got about 10 minutes here.
I want to share how I get into sports psychology field.
Yeah, that's great because there's
So
a lot of people interested in it.
I was a big basketball fan, and actually many of my colleagues, they used to be a student athletes. I didn't play basketball competitively. I was a high school kid growing up, just loving to watch NBA games from South Korea. I took my first international trip to San Antonio to watch my favorite team, San Antonio Spurs game in 2009. It was my first time taking the flight. I was like, should I take off my shoes on the plane? Or I don't know. But I made my solo trip to the US. And as soon as I watched the basketball game, this game really inspired me to work in the NBA. I was thinking that what do I want to do? How do I want to help athletes? I asked this question every day for 6 months. As I mentioned earlier, one thing I really liked about basketball game was mental aspects of the game, right? And one day I just woke up in the morning and one word popped into my head was for psychology. And then I just Googled it. I realized, oh, this field actually existed. So,
So you wait,
sports-
back up. You were
yeah,
asking the same, I love this because I do similar
yeah.
things. You were asking the same question of yourself every day.
And I dive into what it is, everything this field talk about, like self-talk, motivation, confidence. And there is a tangible way to build this mental strengths and mental performance really fascinated me. It also aligns with my passion and my belief that people can grow professionally or personally as a human beings throughout their lives if they work for it. Now I set my goal, or I want to help athletes or other professionals grow in their lives through mental skills training. And now here I am in the US and yes, graduating from sports psychology and pursuing this field.